Hey y'all, welcome to Big Texas Bossin, the show that spills the Texas tea on bossing up, tossing coins, and living your biggest and best life on your own terms. I'm your host, Lalanii Wilson Jones.
It's time for Big Texas Bossin with Lalanii Wilson Jones. Spilling the tea on bossing up.
Big Texas Bossin actually started off as a concept for me to talk to business people about strategy and ideas. I'm always getting asked to mentor business talent, and I wanted a vehicle to share universal ideas. Of course, I knew that the podcast would serve as a marketing vehicle to boost my brand profile in various business sectors, but it has certainly evolved and blossomed beyond my wildest expectations. And while we tap into other segments and topics that are significant to me from fashion, lifestyle, and wildcard segments, nothing is as synonymous with my brand, personality, and character as business. Business is a broad topic that is so dynamic and unpredictable. I love executing strategies and in the midst of the execution having to rethink an idea and do things differently. I love that outcomes are optional and you can learn something from each outcome. At the end of the day, it ain't personal, it's just business. Honestly, I'm most comfortable and confident discussing business trends, practices, challenges, and triumphs than any other topic. This segment is dedicated to all the bosses, aspiring and established, and to all the moguls in the making and those who have made it. Be sure to set your notifications to tune into my discussions and business-related topics ranging from how to start a business from the ground up, executing a well-thought-out marketing plan to develop your business. Oh, you're in business? What do you do now? I'm excited to discuss these strategies along with additional concepts to keep you relevant. Subscribing and watching us on our Big Texas Bossin YouTube channel is mandatory. Please follow us on our socials at Big Texas Bossin and visit our website, bigtexasbossin.com. Week after week, you can catch me on Big Texas Bossin's YouTube, Podbean, Google Podcasts, and other platforms, dropping gems and jewels on how to boss up, take no prisoners, and shed dead weight along the way. And today on my business segment, I have one of the most prolific women of our time, Cheryl Polote Williamson. Woo! Nationally acclaimed multi-best-selling author, award-winning filmmaker and executive producer, transformational speaker, and certified success coach, Cheryl Polote Williamson is a global leader who has successfully ushered 470 men and women into thriving entrepreneurships. Williamson is the CEO and founder of Williamson Media Group, LLC, and Cheryl Polote Williamson, LLC, where her knowledge, expertise, and resources connect others to their purpose. She has received multiple national and international media features and mentions, and several awards for her leadership capabilities. Williamson is a highly sought-after influencer and business leader who is also founder and CEO of Soul Reborn, a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization that has supported more than 10,000 disenfranchised, underserved, and previously incarcerated women through lectures, classes, summits, and conferences on leadership, money management, etiquette, storytelling, and entrepreneurship through a widely supported housing development initiative. Cheryl Polote Williamson and the Soul Reborn charge she leads educates individuals and communities on crime statistics, employment opportunities, business creation and development, financial and family services, and a variety of resources. Williamson tours nationally, motivating varied audiences to release negative strongholds, walk in power, and thrive in purpose. She has been a featured author at the 108th NAACP National Convention and the Congressional Black Caucus. She has published multiple best-selling titles such as Soul Reborn, Affirmed, Soul Talk, Volume 1, 2, and 3, and Soulful Affirmations, which released in 2021. Williamson is also a filmmaker and executive producer of Illegal Rose and 20 Pearls, the story of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Serving is Cheryl Polote Williamson's passion. Nothing comes before the love and care she gives to her husband, Russ Williamson of 30 years, her 3 amazing children, Russ Jr., Courtney, and Lauren, and 2 adorable grandbabies, Leah and Russ III. Cheryl Polote Williams is a true powerhouse player and a big Texas boss for real. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here. I have just been filled with great anticipation since you extended the invitation to me. And I am just truly grateful and honored that you would have me here today.
Well, thank you. It is my honor and privilege to have such an esteemed guest like you here. And I can't tell you how excited I was when I saw your name on the list and that we definitely got you confirmed. This is a true treasure for me. We need to start out talking about the evolution of Cheryl. You didn't start out this magnificent being that you are, or maybe you did. But can you tell us a little bit about how you evolved, your growth pattern, what it took, where your beginnings came from, and what you've evolved into over the years, or how you evolved, whichever you prefer.
Absolutely. It has always been my heart's desire to serve mankind through any means necessary. There have been ups and downs. There were times that I really didn't know what I was doing or how I was going to do it, but I knew that I had a gift to deliver to the world. I didn't know how I was going to deliver it, but I knew it had to be delivered. There were times where I had to leave after establishing careers for my husband to have his career, for him to climb that corporate ladder. And so I can candidly tell you that I sat for a lot of years not knowing what I really was supposed to be doing, but I knew that there was a yearning in my spirit where I wanted to be more than wife of and mother of. And I'm not saying that that's not important, but I knew that there was a gift that I needed to deliver. Many people don't know that I've owned title boxing clubs. I was probably one of the only African American women to own boxing clubs. But I realized that that wasn't my purpose either. I wanted to write. I wanted to share stories that were life-changing, that would make a difference in people's worlds. So I went through some low times and I started to write in a journal book everything that God said about me. And as a result of that, one day I was in the shower and I'll never forget it. He said, I want you to take everything that I've poured into you to lift you up, to make you feel special, and I want you to deliver it to the world. And I said, where am I supposed to get that from? He said, go back on Facebook and take all the quotes that I gave you, take them off and put it in a book. And that's where Affirmed came from.
Oh, wow. That's powerful.
Yes. And it's about delivering the gift, and the gift was for people to see that they're valued, that they're appreciated. And once I realized that I had something that the world needed, it didn't stop. I just kept writing and writing. And then I took a story about going through certain things in life and marriage and relationships, and I produced another book. And then people started contacting me saying, I have a story, how do I share my story? And that's how my first anthology was born, Soul Talk.
Beautiful.
People shared those stories, and it grew from there. And so what became books became stage plays, became films. And I don't take it lightly. I take this as a calling, as a gift that I'm responsible to deliver to the world in excellence and unapologetically, and to bring other people along, creating tables so that we can all sit and we can all shine.
That's beautiful. Were there any key lessons learned that you would like to share with other people or that you want us to know? What's the key?
The key is get as much free information as you can before you start paying people. That's the first thing. Number 2, be willing to do it alone and afraid. Be willing to do it when there's no money in the bank, when nobody's cheering you on, saying, you go, Lalanii. You have to tell yourself, you go, girl. And so when I got comfortable cheering for myself and throwing up my own confetti over my head, I didn't need the world to validate me. I realized that people should realize validation is for parking, not people. And so when you really embrace that, that's when you can walk it out. You don't make apologies. People also, third lesson, be comfortable being a disruptor of the atmosphere. Walk in the room like you own the room. It's like when you go in a bank and you want a loan, you can't walk in the bank and look broke. You won't get the loan. You have to walk in the bank like you have something, a gift that they want to invest in. And this one you're going to laugh at.
Okay.
Stop invoicing people, and you have no intention of producing what you're invoicing the people for.
Right.
And so many businesses do that, sister. And I know we probably run into that all the time, but that's a lesson for people. Stop invoicing for services that you cannot provide.
Absolutely. That's powerful. That's really powerful, though. Because we think we're doing a good job and we think we'll be able to meet the demand. And in the end, we don't. We fall short. So that's excellent. But what if the person doesn't know that they can't?
Then I believe that we need to take ownership. This is my philosophy. I underpromise and overdeliver every single time. If I know that it's going to take me 3 weeks, I'll tell you 4, and then I deliver in 3. That is how I keep clients. When people say, how is it that you always have people that want to do books and films? My yes is yes. My no is no. And I underpromise and overdeliver. And be willing to accept when you have done something wrong. Don't stop calling people because you owe them. Don't stop calling people because you've done something wrong. When you own it and you walk it out, people will hire you again because they see you as a person of integrity. And once you lose your integrity, it is very difficult to do any type of business because people will ask, oh, Cheryl, what do you think of this person? Well, they didn't fulfill their contract and they didn't even call to say, I apologize, this is out of my field, etc. And I have to tell you, that's what burns me up more than anything else. When people take the money and do not fulfill, and then they find some reason to be upset with you,
right,
not to make sure, right?
And people do that.
All the time, all the time. They're like, oh, lost your number, but you had my number and my email when you were sending your invoices, but you never developed the app, you never finished the website, but you've moved on to do something else. We have to do better.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, was your evolution strategically planned, or did it just evolve out of circumstances?
My evolution actually evolved out of circumstances. It evolved out of some of the greatest heartbreak of my life.
Can you share with us a few things?
I sure will. Someone extremely close to me, several people that I trusted with my business, with my family, with people close to me, they decided that they were not comfortable just being a friend, that they actually wanted my life and were willing to do anything and everything to take my life. And when I say take my life, I mean that literally and figuratively. And it took me 2 years to overcome the hurt, the pain, the despair, the embarrassment. And I was lying in bed one day and the Holy Spirit said, girl, get up. He said, I am about to elevate you in the very eyes of the enemies that sought to destroy you. I will show you great and wonderful things if you would just get up. And so that day I decided I needed to get up out of the bed. He said, I'm going to use your story in order for you to show the world what true forgiveness looks like.
Wow. You were able to forgive.
I was able to forgive everybody and move on, because you see, what most people don't realize is forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other people. So once I moved into forgiveness, because I'll tell you, some days going through, I would call my mother and I say, you know, I'm having a J&J day. And she said, what is that? I said, well, I'm going to have to choose between Jesus and jail, because it was just that serious.
I love it.
I mean, we're having a conversation. We might as well. People need to know what the truth is.
Right.
You go through certain things, but I realized, had that not happened to me, I never would have found out what was in me.
Okay.
That was a part of my rebirth. And once I got up out that bed, I've not been back in. That's where all the books, the films, the plays, the helping other people, helping women heal. Had I not been to that place of brokenness, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you today.
Right. I love it. Out of your brokenness, you give nuggets that are truly not only inspirational, they are things that you can carry with you for a lifetime.
Absolutely.
So I apologize for your pain, whatever it was, but God definitely brought you way past that point.
Yes.
And you deliver, you over deliver in everything you do. So I'm assuming there were times that things didn't quite turn out as you planned and you had to shift. Let's talk about those times when you shifted. Was it people shifting? Was it idea shifting? Because one of the things that we talked about before we went on air was that you're an author, you're a writer, and we want to talk about the books. But were there times you said, I want to give up? I'm not a writer. I'm not going to do it. This isn't for me. Did you question God after you got up out your bed?
Of course. And
Okay.
I'll tell you, I still question it every day, because I really hope what I'm about to say will help somebody. I am not the best typist. All my books are written in a journal, and I have everybody that works for me under a memorandum of understanding and NDAs. So when I finish writing in the journal books, I hand them over and they're typed. I have never typed any of my own manuscripts. So for all the people who are about to give up because they think that they don't have what it takes, you're sitting here with somebody who does not type that well, and I have everything edited. So God downloads to me what he wants me to do and say. I write it in the journal books and I hand it over. So from a pivot perspective, there have been times where I felt like I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do another book. I don't want to keep walking this road, because I will tell you, some of the stories in the books, they touch my soul in such a way that I have to lay down, because you cannot believe that people have gone through these types of things. So I wear many people's stories. I wear the fact that they were raped, they were molested, that their husbands left them after they've been with them for years. And I was praying one day and I said, Lord, is this what you have for me? And if it is, I need you to place me in position where I can hear the stories, recover, and do what you're asking me to do. So he released me a little bit, and the pivot was I did a play.
Okay.
With no experience, none. But he said, if you trust me, I'll send everybody around you to make it happen. So I became executive producer of a play called Soul Purpose, where every soul has a purpose. And that's what the play was about. And that was a big pivot, because I was doing books, and then I moved to doing plays, and from plays, I jumped into doing film.
Wow, let's talk about the play a little bit and what that was like for you.
It was an experience where I actually got to change people's lives. There were people who had never acted before that were given opportunities that have now opened up major doors for them. They're doing plays, they're doing film, they launch businesses. And it's because I was at every rehearsal. I poured in to every single person. As an executive producer, you don't have to attend rehearsal. You just need to make sure that the money is there. But I was at every rehearsal, praying everybody in and praying everybody out. There were opportunities for me to employ people. There were opportunities for people to live their dream and their purpose because this was something that they wanted to do. And that was special to me. It was very special. Were there days I wanted to give up? Absolutely, because I did not realize that it cost so much to produce a play. And what made it really a milestone, most people only do one show. We did 5 shows on a first-time play at T-Ball with a 1,800 seat capacity.
Oh, wow.
That's not been done. People don't usually do that. But God told me, if I do it, he'll make everything fall into place. And that's what he did. And that's what I expect every single day. I keep my expectations in just moving forward, helping other people, bringing other people to the table. And it was just an awesome experience. All the music was original.
Oh, wow.
Everything about it. And Dallas came out, Texas just showed up and showed out, and it was just phenomenal. But it was to let me see that if you just move, if you just jump, the parachute will open.
Right. And you have done an awesome job at jumping and opening parachutes. And you moved on into film. So let's talk about 20 Pearls.
My heart. That was the opportunity for me to work with award-winning director Deborah Riley Draper, who most people do not know. That is my childhood friend. We went to elementary school, 7 years old, and the compelling thing about that is I did not realize until Deborah shared on air. She said, "Cheryl, I want to share something with you." And I said, "Okay." She said, "I want people to know that because I drove past your dad's office every day as a young girl, he showed me that I could be a CEO." And I had no idea that is how she felt. It inspired her. So as a result of working with her, I got the esteemed pleasure of working on 20 Pearls, which is a documentary about my beloved Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and it has changed so many lives. We were able to employ so many people, and not just from an employment perspective. We were able to tell the story of real black girl magic.
Right. And
from the 1800s.
Okay. Start there in the 1800s.
Absolutely. And so for us to be able to produce this film for our beloved sorority that makes you laugh, it makes you cry, we were able to pull facts that were in doubt, but we did our research. And Deborah is just a renowned archivist and just always making sure that everything is factually correct. I grew as a part of that film because we shot it in the middle of COVID. So we had to pivot. I wasn't on set, but we had to work from remotely. So we had to keep the cast very, very small. Right. I have to share this with you. One of the most powerful things that happened that we know is monumental is our vice president was not even a nominee when we started this process.
Oh, wow.
So our vice president of the United States of America, we shot her 2 weeks before she became the vice presidential nominee. So she is in 20 Pearls.
Oh, I didn't realize that she was in 20 Pearls.
Yes, she is in 20 Pearls. So I have the esteemed honor and pleasure to know that I am executive producer on a history-making documentary that will eventually be seen in the African American Museum in the Oprah Winfrey Theater. A girl from Savannah, Georgia that, I never would have thought that I would have this opportunity to be such a history maker as one of the executive producers on 20 Pearls.
And that is, but I want to go backwards a little bit because you mentioned something. I think you have a legacy of legends starting with your grandmother. So let's talk about her and how you are an actual third generation entrepreneur.
Yes. My grandmother actually owned property and her sons, they rented the houses on her property. My grandmother was also a hairstylist. So my father saw that growing up, and we did as well. So my father, as a drugstore, he worked in a drugstore, but he always aspired for greater, and he showed us that. So he started working in construction and learned everything he needed to learn, and he started, it was Polote Brothers, then it went to Polote Corporation, and now at 70, my father's construction company is still in business. He has built airports, he's built army bases, and I saw that growing up. The most powerful images that I remember as a child is not just him being that phenomenal entrepreneur. I learned about serving and giving from my parents. I remember our bell ringing at 3 o'clock in the morning and my dad going to the door, giving money to the people who rang the bell. There were no applications to fill out. There were no questionnaires. There was no, oh, when are you going to pay me back? My father gave tirelessly, and I saw that, and I wanted that. So even from a child, I've been an entrepreneur, but I've been a giver. When everybody else was out shopping and doing things, I was out just serving and giving from like 5, 6 years old. I remember when my dad took us on a trip to Europe, and I was 15, and he gave everybody money. And so everybody got to the Gucci store and they were buying Gucci bags. Right. And my dad said, "Why are you not buying anything?" And I said, "I don't have any money." And he said, "What happened to your money?" I said, "Did you not see all those ladies on the street with their babies?" I said, "I gave the money to the ladies." And so my father, he said, "Because you have a heart for serving, I'm going to give you money." And then he said, "You know what? I'm not going to give you the money. Pick the bag you want and meet me at the counter." Right. But I will never forget that. And they remind me of that so often. Being an entrepreneur is about making room to help other people, whether it be through bringing them to the table, creating the table. And I do have to say this about entrepreneurship too. You also, when you're an entrepreneur and you create the table and you bring people, you have to be careful of the ones that try to take your seat.
Right, right.
We have to be real. It happens. So you have to be very mindful of who you bring to the table. But through my father, he taught me how to handle that as well, with grace and with class. And for that, I'm grateful, because I know how to talk to the janitor and the CEO. That's why I greet everybody that comes in the room, because he taught me that lesson. The person who disrespected him the most in the elevator, they didn't realize he was the one that they were going to present to.
Powerful. That's excellent. What advice do you have for those who desire to break into film?
Do your homework. Find you a mentor that's going to walk you through from beginning to end. What do I mean by that? Understanding the money, understand who makes the deal. And right now we have to understand that we don't have to wait for Hollywood to give us the money. What we can do is raise the money among ourselves and produce our own works, because you can keep control of it. I would suggest that they take classes, that they reach out to filmmakers, that they follow them and support their work, because as a result of me following and supporting people, it's people who are reaching out to me now, because then they go to my page on social media and they're like, "You've been so supportive." So the key is serve before you ask. Okay. Because when you serve well, very rarely do you have to ask.
I love it. I love it. Do we have a future film in the works?
Yes, we do. And
Can we talk about it?
We absolutely can.
Okay.
We have about 6 months left on the script. It's titled Saving Clarissa. It's about a socialite who loses her way. Some of it's related to me.
Okay.
And we're actually going to shoot it here in Dallas. I made a promise that I would shoot it here in Dallas, because Dallas wants to bring Hollywood to the area. So I'm looking forward to working with the city of Dallas and the officials to bring this film to Dallas. We thought that we would be shooting it in 21. I'm not quite sure because of COVID. So it'll probably be January or February of 2022. But we're looking forward to employing Dallas residents, using local people from the area, and building a footprint. There's also a reality show that I'm in process of pitching, and I'm excited about that as well because it speaks to who I am about kindness, and I think that's what the world needs more of right now.
Okay, can you elaborate a little more on the reality show?
Yes. What I would like to do is have people travel and perform random acts of kindness all over the world.
That fits you.
And that they're just, I mean, even if it's just buying somebody tea, if it's seeing a story in the newspaper in Kentucky and we travel to Kentucky and we fulfill that person's dream. For me, I know I have more time behind me than I do ahead of me. So I have to be very intentional about every single thing that I do. So these film that I'm working on, as well as the reality show that I know is going to happen because there's already interest.
Yes.
I know it's going to take place, and I'm really excited about it.
Yes, congratulations. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
You have also done some additional amazing things on top of everything. You found time for Cheryl Magazine. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about what's unique about it, and let's just open it up. I want everyone to hear how excellent the magazine is, not only the quality of what's in it, but how everything came to fruition.
Cheryl Magazine, people would not believe, started out as a 3-page newsletter that I would send out to people who purchased my book. And in December, I brought on a person to my staff who I actually went to college with. And I do that because I want to see everybody win. So I'm always reaching back. So we got together and she said, Cheryl, you really have something here. We need to do something with this. So the 3 pages turned into 11 pages, and then the 11 pages turned into Cheryl Magazine. I got very bold. So January, I didn't just do a single issue. I did a dual cover magazine that was released. We did all the work in December. It released in January. The tagline is inspiration for the everyday woman, because I realized that there are more people like us than there are celebrities. It's not a celebrity gossip or fashionista magazine. It's inspiration for the everyday woman, because I want people to know that we exist, that we have taken lemons and made lemonade, that we have taken $50 and turned it into 50 million. See, most people don't know about us. They know about the people that they see all over the newspaper, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted a place where women like you and I and people who would listen, who are going to listen to this amazing podcast and say, you know what, I see myself in that book.
Absolutely.
It's a networking magazine because they don't have to go through 15 people to get to the person in the magazine. They feel like, oh, if I email them, they'll answer me back. So these women are phenomenal women that the world need to know about.
Absolutely.
Like you, my sister.
Thank you.
Exactly like you. And so that spoke to me, and it took off, and I'm about quality and excellence. So I brought on a creative director that used to be with Proline, and she just stepped up.
Okay.
So everything about the magazine, I own it, is quality, period.
Yes.
I don't do anything that's not of excellence, and I'm excited about it.
Yes, let's talk about the cover then of the latest edition. Let's talk about, can you hold that up?
Yes.
Please, so everyone can see that.
So this is our spring-summer edition, and this speaks to me because when I contacted Michelle Thornton-Gee, she says, Cheryl, I will absolutely do the cover of your magazine, and I want to tell you why. She said, when I was no longer at BET and able to pull things for people, people fell off. She said, you remain consistent. You called me, you texted me, you didn't ask me for anything. You only wanted to know if I was okay. So now this sister is the CEO of Ebony and Jet, and she's on the cover of Cheryl magazine. And her story is phenomenal because she talks about her relationship with Christ and how she was able to pull through some of the loneliest times of her life when she was not employed. Nikki Taylor is in it, and we all know 40-year career at Essence.
Yes.
This is powerful because these two powerhouse women said yes to a magazine that just launched in January. It's a history-making magazine because you have these powerhouse women on the cover of a fledgling magazine, and they both said yes. The stories and the color in here are phenomenal. And I have to share with you this. I love this. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling rather pleased with myself. Say it. Literally, say it. Open your mouth and repeat after me. I feel pleased with myself. I look good. I feel good. I'm proud. I made it this far. I did a great job. See, people need to realize that we can all say that. We can all say that unapologetically. So I felt like that's what I needed to say on the very first page of the magazine, to let people know you don't need people's permission to be great or produce something great. You just have to decide to do it and do it well.
Right.
Because you have one chance to make a first impression. There's no such thing as the second time I met Cheryl.
Right. So true, so true. That's awesome. Let's talk about something. One of the many reasons that I love you, but you give affirmations.
Yes.
Weekly. And you're positively manifesting things that people want, not only in your life, but that they should want in their life. Can you tell us about that? What does that mean? What's your inspiration on Sunday? A lot of people are at home doing the family thing after church, cooking, entertaining family. You're blasting out to the world what their affirmations should be for the week. So let's talk about that.
Because I truly believe there is power in your words. And I want everybody to know that. Whatever you speak, that's what will manifest in your life. So for me, I receive preferential treatment. Why would I not say that? I go to the mailbox expecting checks, so not bills. So I dance out to the mailbox because I'm expecting a check. And so those are the things that I write down. I speak globally to millions. People want to do that, but they have to realize that you have to speak that. You have to see it. You have to realize that whatever your mind and your mouth speak out, that's what will happen. So if you speak lack has no choice but to come to you. If you speak abundance will come to you. Now, is it going to come today? I don't know. But I know if I speak it enough, I'm sitting here right now with you as a manifestation, because I write down every day. I am on radio, TV, and film. So you are a part of what I write down every single day. I speak globally to millions. Those are the things that we have to say over ourselves. And the reason that I write that for the world to see is because I want people to know that they have the ability to change their entire life by what they say to themselves. Right. And if they start out, Sunday is the beginning of the week. If you start out on Sunday and you say those things the whole week, I can tell you I have so many people inbox me every week. Girl, you cannot believe I received a check in the mail. Oh, my business is booming. My husband came back. My son was released. And they feel so good because they have learned how to harness their thoughts and speak life over themselves. And that's important to me, because at the end of the day, when I close my eyes and people are standing there speaking about me, Nobody is going to say, oh, let me tell you, she had 50,000 likes and 20,000 views. They're going to say, because she helped teach me the power of manifestation, I realized what my worth was. I realized that I mattered and that I had gifts to deliver to the world, that my destiny was important. And that's why I do what I do every day of my life. It's about legacy. It's about living a life that is unapologetic. It's about helping other people see the very best in them when the world is telling them that they're nothing. When they're so caught up on social media trying to keep up with everybody else. I want people to get to the point where you don't have to log into social media. Your words are so powerful that you talk yourself into being excellent.
Amen. Amen. You are so powerful. And I hate that we have to wrap it up. But we're going to have to wrap up this business segment with Cheryl. She has been amazing. I know you all took home multiple nuggets from what she said. It's impossible not to. It's impossible. As we close, please tell our audience where they can follow you to keep up with the latest and greatest in your life.
Absolutely. They can follow me on Instagram at Cheryl PW Speaks, on my website at CherylPWilliamson.com, and they can certainly subscribe to Cheryl Magazine at CherylMagazine.com.
That is awesome. Before you go, we do have a gift for you, a parting gift. This is one of our chocolate hats from Big Texas Bossin. You are welcome.
Aww.
And we've also got a sugar box.
Yes.
We just took some of the content out. But you've got a book, Sugar Mama, written by me and my co-author, Travion Davenport, who's also the producer for this. So we want you to have that. And just enjoy it when you just want something to laugh about. It's a good fiction book. And today, my fashion segment, we are stepping out with another big fashion boss, Keya Martin. Welcome to the show, Keya.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Y'all are certainly in for a treat, as we are honored to get to know this celebrity fashion shoe designer who has been seen in Vogue, Essence, Elle, Beyonce.com, and Billboard. Keya Martin is an artistic whiz who swapped out her corporate career for a more rewarding one in fashion as a creative director and now footwear boss. Keeyahri shoes are designed with an emphasis on luxury footwear for the confident woman. Keya's creations are spotted all over the nation, across the Atlantic, and of course, right here in the Lone Star State, as I am both a fan and consumer of her gorgeous shoes. Hats off to you, Keya.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Today, Keya and I are going to talk about following your passion, making a living from doing it, and capturing a niche clientele in one of the most competitive industries in the world. Keya, tell Big Texas Bossin audience a little bit about where you are from, what piqued your interest, ultimately compelling you to become a shoe designer.
Sure. So, as you said, my name is Keya Martin. I'm from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I attended Clark Atlanta University, HBCU, and I've been working in the corporate world for about 13 years, where I've been able to travel the world, and I had some, great opportunities just being in the business field. But I just felt like there was a need for me to be passionate about something. I didn't feel like, going to this 9 to 5 every day was my calling. So I decided to pray on it and try to figure out what was I passionate about. Just jotted down some things that I absolutely love. I had food, dogs, and fashion on this list, and couldn't think of any other business ideas with those two things. So I decided to pursue something within fashion. And I always had a love for footwear. I wanted to design something that was different, something that would stand out, and also give me the confidence, because I suffered from low self-esteem. I always felt like I was in the background, like growing up and in high school. And even in college, I just felt like I was, an introvert, and I just didn't belong. So I wanted to create something that would aid in giving me confidence and contribute to my self-esteem. So I I one day just started sketching ideas. I was able to share these ideas with my friends and family, and they actually pushed me and gave me the motivation to actually pursue this. I booked a ticket to Italy. I walked booth to booth showing these people in the factories my ideas and my concept, and I was able to find a factory that way just by taking that chance. So that happened 2.5 years ago, and I've been trying to pursue this fashion footwear business ever since.
Wow, you've come a long way fast in such a short period of time. Now, what were you doing in the corporate world?
So I had my degree is in business supply chain, and I was a buyer for aeronautics industry, the cruise line here in Miami, and also the wine and spirits industry, Diageo. And that job was really, it was really a fulfilling job. It was fun, but I just didn't feel like it was my calling. So that's why I decided to pursue this footwear business.
Wow, you definitely stepped out on faith. Now, Keeyahri offers a one-of-a-kind ostentation product that has captured the attention and support of diehard shoe lovers, which I am. I know you probably didn't know that about me, but I love shoes. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. I think shoes and the accessories set the outfit no matter what you're wearing. So,
Absolutely.
yes, your shoes are attributed to the quality, craftsmanship, and eclectic style. What made you go into luxury footwear? We've talked about footwear a little bit, but your shoes go a little bit beyond the basics.
Right. So I wanted to do something special. All of the ideas that I have are quite expensive. I have so many ideas, and I'm inspired by so much. Even my latest shoe, which is the popular shoe, is inspired by a chapel that's in Japan. And to create the shoe, it is like quite expensive to develop. And the craftsmanship and the materials that I use in Italy are one of a kind, and it's expensive. So it's on the luxury end.
Right. Now, I love Italian designers, and I noticed that you did not say, I went to China, as most people would typically say probably, and you didn't say you went to Mexico, where it would definitely be cheaper. Your only destination that you mentioned was Italy. So how did you arrive at Italy and not anywhere else in the world to create your custom designs?
Well, I did some research online just to figure out what factory that speaks to my design aesthetic, and it was definitely Italy with the, traditional craftsmanship. Everything is handmade. It's just, the quality is there. So that's what I want to offer to people. I want you to have these shoes for a lifetime. Maybe, pass it on to your children. So I definitely wanted to tap into that industry where I have some Italian-made high craftsmanship items to develop.
Okay. You definitely do that. You use feathers, faux fur, pops of color, curious shapes, architectural concepts, and innovative designs, which are signature elements of your Keeyahri shoe. How do you tie all that together? Are you a one-woman team on your design team, or do you have a team of designers that each partake in the concept of the shoe until delivery?
Right now, I am a one-woman team.
Wow.
Although the factory, like my background is not fashion at all. I can sketch, but I can't do any particular technical package in order for the factory to develop the heels. So I am working with a consultant in Italy that conceptualize all my ideas and make them, more practical and make them come to life. So that's but all of the ideas, all of the inspiration is definitely from me, but I do hope to expand the team and, partner with and collaborate with other people who will help me, develop new and innovative design.
Okay, give us a nugget. If you could have anyone to collaborate with, who would you do it with? Just one.
Anyone to collaborate? Well, one of my dreams came true. So I recently collaborated with Serena Akers, which is a Beyonce stylist.
Yes.
And that happened last year. So that was really on the top of my list. But someone else would be maybe a Michelle Obama.
Okay.
On my list.
Right. That would be wonderful, too, to be able to collaborate with her. Would you be prepared for the sellout?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would.
Yes. That's awesome. I understand that your journey has pushed you to embrace the shoemaking process while rewriting and redefining the rules of the shoe design game. Can you share with us about your journey and some of
Sure.
the hurdles, some of the highs, some of the lows? And I'm sure that there were days you just wanted to quit. Can we talk about all of
Absolutely.
that? Right.
Absolutely. Like right now, as of like last week, I've been having a tough time. So I love, the fact that people are excelling in the business, but I feel like, people need to understand, the valleys, because it's so many challenges and so many obstacles, but you have to, rise above all of that. But recently I've had a lot of delays with the factory, due to COVID. Their factory is not at capacity with all of the workers there. And then also had some delays with shipping and customs, and I redid my heel to make it more sturdier and improve the quality of the heel. So that impacted my delivery as well. So, and then another thing that happened recently is that one of my package was, missing from FedEx. So it disappeared out of nowhere, and I have a pre-order model, so people have been waiting on my shoes. So it's just a lot of, I've been sending, kind of try to do a lot of customer service around it. But for me, I appreciate, the people and the women who want to pour into my business and, taking a chance on me. So I've actually called and text and tried to communicate a different way to, advise them of the delivery delays and everything. So I've tried to create this relationship with some of my customers. But as far as developing the brand, it's hard to, I want to say, get more publicity around it when you're not known. Like, I'm not a popular person. I don't, know a lot of people. So it's just, putting in the work around marketing and advertising, trying to connect and resonate with the customers who buy luxury products. Just develop a list, a customer profile to be able to speak to these women and understand who she is, where she shops, what does she like, what she doesn't like. So I've been putting in a lot of work, especially last year when I had, some downtime during quarantine, to understand who my customer is and how to resonate with them and how to speak to them and how to offer more of an experience when, ordering products from Keeyahri. So it's been a lot of ups and downs. I'm also trying to get into some retail stores. Not having the connections is also a challenge. So I'm partnering with different organizations. Harlem Fashion Road, Raise Fashion has absolutely been wonderful. They've helped emerging designers try to, connect them and give them resources to expand their brand.
Right. Well, you came out so hard, you wouldn't know that you didn't have the marketing platform that you needed. I mean, because you came to the market and definitely over-delivered for a first-time delivery. So who is behind your marketing and who is behind building your blueprint? Is everything you, or do you defer?
So right now it's pretty much me, but I try to, when I, don't know certain things, I try to get, look for different resources. I've just hired 2 interns to help me out. I work with different consultants, just trying to find the right team. I'm still working on that. I haven't really landed where I need to be, but I'm still trying to get there. Hopefully I can do that this year. But right now, for the most part, the ideas and everything it's pretty much myself.
Okay, when it came to your collaborations and being able to reach out to a Beyonce to have her wear your shoe, how did all of that work? Were you on IG harassing somebody, or were you making boardroom calls? How did you get to that level, so early? Early for a designer.
First thing you said, just, shooting my shot. I tell people this all the time. You never know how people are going to respond or what are they going to say, because, I'm in people's DMs, I'm emailing nonstop. As soon as I hear a no, maybe I'll back off. But until then, I'm there following up every other week. Hey, did you catch this design? Do you like this? Do you want to do a partnership? Because, you never know what, they can bring to the table. And then,
Absolutely.
With the whole Serena, and then also to move McPherson, she's in the UK. I reached out to her, via direct message and Instagram. So a lot of things actually connected through this Instagram platform. So I've just been shooting my shot nonstop, and I'm still doing it to this day. Like any collaboration, any partnership that I want, I try to find the right contact to reach out to on Instagram, and I've been doing that ever since, and it's been working for me.
Right.
Of course, I received some no's, but that doesn't stop me. I still try to develop a full list of people I believe in, who inspired me, who I want to work with, and I've been doing it nonstop.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, what would you recommend for the up-and-coming shoe designer who's out there? What would be your number one tip for them in order to get in the game, or even try to have a foot in the game, so to speak?
So many things. First, I would try to understand the back end of the business because it's so important. Yes, you have to develop a product that speaks to your audience. You have to make sure that people want to buy this product. So I would say test it out. And that's something that I didn't do that I regret doing. My first shoe did not sell. I would have very low sales with my first shoe. And I didn't understand what, people really like. So I would say do some research first, understand what people are gravitating to, and develop something and test it out, test the market, see how people are reacting, because you don't want to put so much money and, invest in a product that doesn't sell, that people, really don't want. So I would say to definitely do a product market test to understand what the market is calling for, to test out your product first, and then understand the back end of the business, accounting, bookkeeping, marketing, because that carries the business. Yes, you can have a great product, but you do want, to run the business efficiently. So I've learned that, all during the pandemic, to understand how to operate a business.
Right. That's awesome. Now, who is Keeyahri's customer? Who is your ideal customer?
Yeah. So this person is, she wants attention, pretty much. She wants to stand out. She doesn't want what everyone else has. She wants the statement piece. She loves to, she loves fashion. She loves to travel. She loves going to social events. So this woman loves to stand out, definitely, and it's probably a fashionista for the most part.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, those were all great tips. I look forward to seeing what else you will imagine, create, and share. I truly enjoyed having you here at Big Texas Bossin. We love to give gifts to all of our guests in appreciation for your time. So I'd like to sing you one of our custom designed chocolate hats.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
We'll be packing it.
I love chocolate.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Just as a small token of thank you to you, is there anything else that our audience should know about you, about the shoes, about the industry highs and lows, anything else?
I would just say to try to persevere, because it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely tough, but on the weekends, I'm looking forward to Monday mornings because I absolutely love what I'm doing. So, if you're in the industry, or if you're at a job, try to figure out, something that you absolutely would be in love with doing every day, something that you're passionate about. And once you figure that out, you would never, want to give up, So definitely do that. I feel like that's the first step. And also with my line, I have, some new development, some new products coming out. And a lot of things are featured mostly on my Instagram. So if anyone wants to find out more information, they can go to Keeyahri at Instagram, Keeyahri on Instagram.
Okay, and can you give us the website for the shoes, please?
Sure. It's www.keeyahri.com, Keeyahri.
Okay, and I know that you do a little special thing if you sign up, and you have a box to unlock. Now, I always get locked out, so I can't get the special, but talk to us about some of your customer favorite specials that you run.
So pretty much, if you're a new customer, I definitely offer like 10% off for any new customers. I just did a Memorial Day sale last month. So sales are periodic because it's a luxury brand. A lot of luxury brands do not offer discounts, but I try to do it anyway. So the next one probably will be Black Friday. But if you're a first-time customer, you definitely can receive 10% off.
Okay. And your customers that sign up get the new jewels dropped on them first, don't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That is,
Behind the scenes and everything. You get to understand, my journey, and I'm going to Italy in September, so you'll get the behind the scenes first before anybody else.
oh, that's awesome. So you're headed to Milan to do.
I will be visiting my factory, and then I will also be attending a trade show just to look at the new materials and textures and product that's out there, because it's been a long time. Last year no one could travel, so this year I'm really excited to see what's out there, so that I'm able to create new footwear.
Absolutely. Now, how did you survive during COVID?
Actually, last year was my biggest year because so many people supported, Black businesses with all the social injustices last year stemming from George Floyd. So I received so much support, especially from Black women. They absolutely love my brand, and if it wasn't for these women, I would not have been able to survive. So I'm so appreciative of these women supporting my brand during the pandemic. Not being able to travel and still order heels is absolutely amazing. So last year was actually my biggest year.
Wow. Wow. That's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What's next for you?
So right now I am trying to extend this brand to be more international, more global. I have customers in Dubai and Nigeria and the UK. So I'm trying to get into more retail stores as well as the US. I want to be able to have product available because people are, trying to travel when they have events, graduations, and parties. I want the product readily available if you go to a mall. So I've had customers in UK, Dubai, Nigeria, and I'm trying to really make this a global brand. So
Okay.
I want to expand into retail stores within the US and also overseas.
Okay, so will we see a flagship store or any pop-up shops for Keeyahri? Is that on the
Yes, I'm
agenda?
definitely. Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to get into a store in Texas. Not sure if it's Houston or Dallas, but I'm trying to have some product in Texas because I have a lot of supporters there.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, that's what we do. Big Texas Bossin definitely supports the fashion community, so it would be great. Is there anything else you'd like us to know?
No, I think I've shared everything, and I'm also available. I do a mentor session every other month. So I'm just giving, tips and advice for anyone who wants to pursue an entrepreneurship goal or the fashion industry, and just giving any tips or advice. And I do that probably once every other month. And that information is also, I announce that on Instagram as well.
Okay,
So
great.
that will be it.
Great. Well, that is awesome. Give us your handles one more time, please.
It's at Keeyahri, and it's Keeyahri.
That concludes this episode of Big Texas Bossin. I hope you all got the tea and really enjoyed it. You can follow us on all of our social medias at Big Texas Bossin, BOSSIN, and follow us on our website, www.bigtexasbossin.com. Y'all come back now.